about getting through to be in the China youth team, you'll know the hours and the training and the regime that's that he's been playing through to get to that level. So an absolutely wonderful player.
Love 1.
But first point to Chris. That's a nice little start. So big Chris, same part of the world as me, Northamptonshire, plays at the Westfield Table Tennis Club, but all around the world now, of course. And look at that touch from Chris Doran. Really comfortable away from the table, great topspin, great consistency.
No, it's great. I mean, like Chris, as you can see, he's focused. I mean, and he's using both things quite well. He's going down the line, he's going across. I mean, I think this is going to be a juicy match.
Yeah, I think it will be. So Chris won't be at all phased to play a Chinese opponent, but
2-1.
Shen got over the top of that backhand beautifully, Tony.
Yeah, well, Shen is a great player, there's no doubt about it. I like watching him play, actually. He tends to play with a smile on his face. He's really good to watch. But Chris is probably my favourite player to watch, just because the way he plays back from the table, he manages to control it, keep the ball really low. He can even get it short when he's away from the table. His touch is that good, and then he'll suddenly produce awesome power. Fantastic player to watch.
So the best touch and feel in the competition is what you're watching now at the near end. Chris, and amazing. They often say for a big man, he certainly is a big man, 6'8". But lovely, lovely feel for the ball. They're just fading it out into the backhand, getting a bit of side spin on the ball.
4-2.
Shen, though, you can see, very, very competent attacking player. Penhold style. Tend to run around and get the forehand in from the backhand corner quite a lot. So let's see the choices Chris makes about when to go into the backhand and when to go down the line.
Very clever. Chris serving a slight half-long serve to the Chen's forehand. Chen just split up slowly, then Chris is using his backhand straight away to kind of put him under pressure.
And that's exactly what Gavin Rumgay was saying. One of his favourite tactics is, when we were just talking to Gavin just now, serve it just over the end of the table, not long, but just there, make them spin it up and then attack. At that time, Chris couldn't get his follow-up shot to be quite so powerful. So, small lead for Chris. You can almost see, just looking at the way Chris holds his back, ready for serve, Tony, but he's just got that great feel for the ball.
Yeah, what a great return of serve this is. Look how low and short that is. That's so difficult to do with these bats. And then he pushed him back to the opposite corner. So Shen really had to go a long way to recover to play his next shot.
Yeah. Oh, that should have been a winner from Shen. And Chris absolutely belted it with his backhand and then pulled up another one from away from the table. There's no margin for error in that at all, Darius. That's just amazing attacking from away from the table there. Two great backhands.
No, definitely. I was always saying about Chris's focus, and today he literally looked like he's coming to do a job.
Yeah. So Chris got hold of, lucky one. Chris got hold of Alexander Fleming, number 2 seed, lives in Leipzig. So Chris said, great, I'll see you in Leipzig. Went across, they trained 4 or 5 days solid. Sandpaper to sandpaper. Chris says he's in the best shape ever. He's fitter than he was, got a bit more explosive power in his legs this year. He knows that this tournament can take its toll physically. He knows he wants to get past the quarterfinals this year. We'd be delighted as Englishmen to see him get through this game and one more and into the semi-finals. If he gets to that stage, $5,000 awaits him. Brilliant stuff. Drop shot. Chris is in for it. Look at the control. Kept it nice and low.
And something like this is that it's very, very difficult to put the ball past him because he anticipates so well. His arms are so long. And I mean, that just shows you how good he is. You've got to win the point 3 or 4 times. He also got a net as well.
Yeah, and what touch from Chris. We said before how difficult it is to control the ball when you rush forward like that. And he rushed forward and kept it short again on the return. Unbelievable control.
Really exciting to watch. That's a great backhand. You see the way he whipped his wrist over the top of that one, just as if he had a high friction bat, and he's doing that just with wood and sandpaper. Amazing how much topspin he can get when he gets that pull on the ball. Great rally. And you've got to say, the Chinese player, look at him, his consistency as well.
Look at him.
7, 8 fantastic shots. Chris is not missing anything.
5-11.
It's amazing, isn't it, the power he produces from that far away from the table. And as you say, with such consistency, just not missing any of them.
Shen confused. He's being allowed to play his best shots, and they're having no effect at all. That backhand down the line just came off the top of Chris's bat slightly. Made the ball cut away wide of the forehand to make it more difficult. 5-12. Wonderful start for the Englishman. Shen doing the pendulum serve from the backhand corner. Return right onto the white line. Good length.
And if you notice with Shen as well, that he doesn't have much variety. He just plays an open game, and actually Chris is better than him at that. He can play it short, he can play it straight. So I mean, you know, I think Chris is really quite special.
Yeah. Thanks, Gavin, for your commentary a minute ago.
13-6.
Gavin Ramgay in the audience there. 2 points away from the first game. 15 points is what he needs. Short serve down the line. Look at that touch. That was a great flick, though, from Shen.
7-13.
Beautiful long ball with his forehand into Chris's backhand. Got Chris on the back foot, took him off balance. Keeps him in this first game. Really needs to win both of these 2 points on his serve to stay in it. Doesn't do that one. Game point to Chris Doran.
7-14.
Well, if you want to tame one of the top Chinese players, here's an object lesson in how to do it. If you can't beat them in the way that they play, you've got to be able to mix it up. Unbelievable rally.
I mean, it just shows again you've got to play 10 shots to beat Chris. I mean, Chen could have won that point earlier, because anyone else would have won it earlier. But Chris is just bringing it back, and actually now Chris is just having fun with him.
Yeah, looks like an exhibition match at one end. That's a great backhand from Shen. Beautiful. So Shen's worked out that if he gets Chris very, very long into the backhand, Chris can be a little bit tucked up, can't play his full open flowing stroke. But still, game point. Just over half long serve. Forehand to forehand, top spins. And there he is.
And it's almost like Shen doesn't know, he can't believe that he's losing, he doesn't know why, because Chris actually just makes it, he's doing so much, but actually Shen just doesn't understand the quality that he has, you know, and I think Chris is really, first I've seen him really focus.
Yeah, Shen certainly will need a little bit of new input, I think, Tony, from his coach to come up with any kind of plan for how to cope with Chris's power and control.
Yeah, I mean, Dennis will be telling Chris to keep doing what you're doing, mix it up. Chris was so clever in that game. Look at the support up there for him. Chris was so clever in that game. He just threw the odd fast backspin return in as well, which Shen put in the net each time. And I feel he's got that option. If Shen starts to play well, he can throw in more backspins and really vary it. But at the moment, he's not had to do it that much.
Yeah. And Chris very confident in Dennis's coaching. They play together as coaches at the Great Peterborough Club. And you see Dennis just keeping him relaxed. No pressure. Just keep doing what you're doing mentally. Chris is looking a little bit fast in his body movements. I hope he can stay as relaxed as he has been. This is where it hots up. It gets physically more demanding through the match as the endurance starts to kick in. Chris, amazingly fit guy, 26 years old.
Second game, Mr. Doran to serve
and
level.
very, very happy to say that Chris has been coaching at our club up at Corby Smash in Northamptonshire. He's been helping with some of our players, my kids included. Really, really great to get that insight, to hear the thinking and get him to express what he's thinking during the game and the ways that you can approach it. Wonderful stuff.
Love 1.
Just wondered in the, could see Dennis just laughing and joking. I wonder if he's actually trying to calm Chris down. Chris looks a little bit edgy to me at the start of this game.
Great recovery from Chris in the middle there, but just not having enough to recover for the next shot. Again, it's just all about Chris's focus, not allowing Chen to play too much.
Yeah. Winner of this game will play another European player, in fact, another
2-1.
English player. That's the next. They play the winner of the next match, and that's between Matt Ware of England and Andrew Bagley, twice champion, world champion, also of England. So if Chris wins this, there will be an English player in the semi-finals, come what may. Chris had to adapt there, play his forehand across his body, stuck away from the table, but he's a great retriever. Shen, though, very, very consistent. So, Tony and Darius, have you spotted anything that Shen is doing differently this time around?
He's gone a lot more to Chris's middle, actually, because he knows the wings of Chris's left. If you look straight away,
There,
he's good.
does it again, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say as well. Yeah, and for sure, every time he gets the opportunity to hit it hard, he's hitting it at that crossover point of Chris, just underneath his right elbow, at his right hip. And Chris struggled to deal with that so far, but we'll see what happens.
Again and again. Two balls into the crossover of Chris Doran. You see there, Chris pulled out the first one very well, made it look easy, but that's not easy to do there. Second one, couldn't get his balance. And, Shen Jianyu played in the Croatian Premier League.
That's
Recently. Loves his table tennis. That's great retrieving from Chris, getting in position. You see the way he's moving his feet beautifully. But Shen
6-1.
just changing the pace slightly when he does the forehand attack. So as well as Chris having to move his feet side to side, some are slightly shorter, some are slightly higher and kicking into Chris's body. Very smart play from Shen, but that one says,
2-6.
I'll take you out for power. Certainly Chris has got a different problem this game. Lovely backhand from Shen. And that one forehand down the line, off the end. That was a beautiful backhand. See Chris's recovery there, and the follow-up from Chris shows you that he's recovered well. Beautiful backhand topspin. Again, two great backhand topspins, one down the line. No one would get that back apart from Shen just about. The quality of the drop shot and the smash to finish, and that makes it look like Chris Doran is toying with them.
Yeah, no, Chris is definitely now finding his rhythm in the game. He's coming back.
6-4.
And it's great that he's able to use that backhand and just hit it out wide quite far straight, and then put Shen under pressure.
So Chinese fans getting behind Shen. So we're going to have a fan contest here for decibels, I think. So you see the
6-4.
sellout here at Alexandra Palace again.
Great backhand straight. It's a great time to bring them short, hitting out wide to the backhand.
So
6-5.
relieved, and then Shen serving 6-5. So for all of that, Shen still has a point lead. Nice backhand from the
5-7.
middle, wide of Shen's forehand. That makes it 5-7 though, because Shen took the point.
Chris was looking at his bat in disbelief there when that forehand went into the bottom of the net, but I think what happens, he just slightly mistimed it, contacted the ball when it was too far through the shot and didn't get any lift with it.
Yep, and I think I'd be looking with belief at the double point ball.
Net serve.
Yeah, but Chris is looking at his bat, almost trying to like not blame himself and keep himself full of confidence. It's quite a common tactic that a lot of top players do when they make a mistake that they can't believe. They blame something else just so that they can just get on with the match. Great serve there from Chris, back in it now.
6-7.
So 6-7. So Chris has one more serve. Two serves at a time each. Beautiful stroke play from Shen. You see that beautiful topspin, but Chris is back at 7-all.
Back in it, Chris. A little bit of fight, a little bit of USA, and he's there.
Just over half long serve. Nice play from Chris.
7-all.
So even again. Chris has had to work really, really hard at the start of this game just to stay anywhere near. He's done well to pick it up and level it at 7-all. Nice backhand down the line from Shen.
8-7.
Yeah, it was good. Chris tried that fast sort of push with a little bit of backspin on, but that time Shen lifted it up really well with his unusual backhand.
Cheap point for Chris there.
8-all.
Yeah, it was. With a high friction bat, Shen might have picked that up and made it go over the net and dip, but that's an almost impossible shot for Shen to play. It was a clever shot, wide of Chris's backhand. I don't think that was going to work.
Yeah, and I think this is where Chris has got to be careful. He's worked his way to get back into it so hard, and if you start going a little bit too hard, it can go on, it can go off. You've got to keep that momentum and that pressure.
Do you think Chris is playing too soft, or do you just think he's lost consistency?
He's going a little bit too hard now, I think, because he knows that he's in a position to win. He's come all the way back. I think he's got to keep working it.
There, a little bit compromised on that shot. Got to hand it to Shen, playing it tight into the body, so Chris didn't have any leverage to play that shot. As a result, didn't get the power, dropped into the net.
For sure, but I think Chris is the better player. So, no, the theory is if you're better, make the other player play the rally more, because you're going to win more of those long rallies. You know, 7 out of 10 times.
I agree. I think a little bit more consistency from Chris, and he might be okay. That's a great return.
There you go. I think he played it there. He got it on. He didn't go too hard. He just got it on. And you know, Shen made a mistake.
Yeah, that's right. It was a powerful return of serve, great return of serve, and he followed it up with a very clever, what we call a half shot. Shen was reaching and off balance.
Service mistake.
10-all.
Serves in the net.
I'll be
10-all.
I'll be saying thank you very much. This is my game to take.
Good time.
Double
So
point ball from
he's going to do what Gavin Rumgay was saying. When you see a little weakness in the opponent mentally, a little bit of difficulty, time to think, well, give him an extra variable to think about, and that's the double point ball threat. 2 points if he wins this one, Chris, with the double point ball. Nice backhand. Gets it. 12-10, Chris Doran. And he's got another serve to come.
Wow. Great tactical play there. I did say earlier about using a double point in the second set. It can just help so much. But Chris has just played his card so right. He knows he's better. He's focusing and thinking right.
So 1 more point on his serve for the Englishman. Give him a healthy little lead. And he's done it. A attempted drop shot from Shen, but you could see there he knew what to do, but he didn't have the same amount of touch as Chris Doran, and that's one of the differences between these two players. Yeah. So Shen serving at 10-13, and Shen is now in urgent difficulty.
Yeah, it was such good variation on that serve from Chris. He'd been serving them all half long, and that one he just made it a little bit shorter, and Shen didn't adapt in time. Yeah,
short return of serve from Chris, forced back from the table. Good backhand to get him out of trouble.
Look at that, so
he was
strong.
Happy. Yeah, he would have chopped the next ball.
Beautiful.
And he's got his consistency back. That flowing movement, Darius, has suddenly returned to him.
For sure, and I think when you chop the ball, then you start attacking. It's quite difficult for the hand to adjust a little bit as well, with just the 2 different angles that you've got to play. And I think Chen just struggled a little bit there.
Thanks, Darius. So at match point now to Chris Doran. The double point board is being played by Shen to get from 10 to 12. Penhold style. Short serve to the forehand. Chris, competent return, but he's forced away. That was a good follow-up from Shen.
Yeah, it was a good touch, wasn't it? Surprised Chris with that short ball. I was expecting him to hit it harder to him again.
Yeah. So after missing the drop shot, Shen proved that he can do it. Surprised Chris after making a mistake with one, did it again at match point down, made it, and Chris couldn't get back into the table in time. Very, very smart, but also very brave from Shen. But is this the end for Shen? He misses the backhand. Chris Doran is the winner. Through to the quarterfinals to play the winner of the next match, Matt Ware against Andrew Bagley. We're going to see an Englishman in the semi-final. Well played, Shen Jianyu, ex-China.